Okay, if you are given a sandwich, what part of the sandwich do you like the most? What part of the sandwich you like to eat?
The filling.
Central part, no? Then if you have a mango, what part of the mango you like? The central pulp of the mango. So similarly, these 7 chapters or the middle 7 chapters of Gita are considered to be the sweetest. And they are filled with, again, all of them are filled with knowledge, but these have a lot of confidential knowledge about Lord Krishna. So today's chapter begins with knowledge of the absolute truth. Now it's divided into the following sections. I'll directly go there. This was just a revision of whatever we did last time. Okay. First 3 shlokas are based on hearing from him. Him is from Lord Krishna. Basically, he stresses himself, Krishna himself stresses on the importance of Shravanam. Navavidya Bhakti, I told you yesterday, Shravanam is a very important, or the very first and the most important step of devotional service, hearing about the glories of the Lord. So even Lord Krishna is stressing upon that in the first 3 shlokas. Then how you can see Krishna everywhere. Now it's always about what we as human beings, we see whatever, when we see something, we believe it. And we cannot see God as it is described. We cannot see him like that. So that is the main issue, and main issue, at least with this generation, our generation, is we don't see him, so we don't believe him. But what we are learning from now, we have to, more than seeing it, is we have to inception, you have to feel him. And so, but even in this chapter, we'll come to know how he is present everywhere around us. Everything around us is him. So how it is, that we'll come to know in today's chapter. Then we'll learn about the 4 kinds of people who accept Krishna and 4 kinds of people who reject him. Then we'll learn something about the demigod worship. This is always some big confusion nowadays. Who are demigods? Who is Shiva? Who is Brahma? Who is to be worshipped? Who is the father of everything? Who is the ultimate? That way. But now, for now, we already know from the chapters till now, Supreme Personality of Lord Head Shri Krishna is the final or the complete level of God realization. This two-handed form of Lord Krishna, right? Okay. Mataji would like to recite. Harshali Mataji is there, no?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Harshali Mataji, she is unable to unmute the mic. Mataji, you can start. Hare Krishna.
I unmuted her. Where is she? She can't unmute. Okay. She'll do the next one. I'll just recite this. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Maya Asaktamana Partha Yogam Yudnyam Madashraya Asamshayam Samagramam Yatha Jnanashita Shrunu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now hear, very important. Shravanam. What is he saying? Hear. O son of Pratha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. Important thing, in full consciousness of me and mind attached to me. Not like a mithyachari yogi who's just going to a forest and thinking about something else and just sitting in the forest with no knowledge. So with full consciousness of me and mind attached to me are the 2 important points he's saying. You can know me in full. So how to understand Krishna? By fixing your mind on him. When your mind is fixed on him, when you are conscious of him, and when you have knowledge of him, your doubts will automatically start getting vanished. Now this we've done in the bridge classes, but I'll just go through it very quickly. What are the 3 ways of acquiring knowledge or 3 understanding God? How do we know? Direct sense perception, which is not possible for us, correct? With defective senses, can we perceive a God? Like, can an ant see something? Like, even we cannot see something happening in the next room. So understanding God with our defective senses is not possible. Anuman Praman is theories based on evidence, like the center picture. Shabda Praman is hearing from bona fide authority, which we are doing. We are a part of a Guru Shishya Parampara. For we have a bona fide spiritual master as Srila Prabhupada. Then the process of, if any one of y'all is interested to progress in this, to get associated with ISKCON, there is a process of initiation where you have a one-to-one connection with the Guru, where you have a personal touch with the Guru, where he will initiate you. That is, you will become his Shishya and you will get more knowledge. So this is the Shabda Praman. Through hearing, that is the importance of hearing, which Krishna was talking about in the hearing from a bona fide spiritual authority. Now, why direct sense perception is not a very useful? See, there were 6 blind men and they were trying to understand what was it, what structure was this. Someone in the center was feeling through that texture, he could feel, blind man obviously, his feeling was by the skin texture of an elephant. Could he understand it is an elephant? No. What did he feel? It is some brick structure. Someone who was holding the leg, and by holding the leg, someone felt it is the trunk of a tree. Someone was holding the tail, and someone. So we don't have the knowledge of what is something which is beyond us. Even science has still not gone beyond our universe. So what is the knowledge of the unlimited universes and all that is just beyond our perception. So how do we understand or come to a conclusion on who he is just based on our senses? Not possible. And in this conditioned life, when our soul is conditioned in the material world, we are bound to have these 4 defects. We commit mistakes. All of us commit mistakes. We have a tendency to get illusioned. We have a tendency to cheat, and we have imperfect senses. So with all this, we have left with an option of accepting what has been told to us in the Shastras. That is from the Shabda Praman. Yeah. Harshali Mataji is going to say, or should I recite it?
Hare Krishna Mataji, am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Jnanam teham savijnanam idam vakshamya sheshatah yajnatva neha bhuyo jnatavyam avashishyate.
Thank you. Now Krishna is saying, I shall declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. So most of the confusion, most of your doubts are going to be cleared after I tell you this. Now what he's going to come up. Now, can someone tell why was Arjuna chosen to tell this knowledge?
Because he was his friend as well as his devotee.
Yes.
And to get this knowledge without any judgment, either we
Correct.
have to consider him a friend or and a devotee.
Very good. Correct. Okay.
Because,
yes, Mataji.
because he has complete surrender.
Surrender.
He has
Very
complete
good. Very
surrender.
important
Surrenderness.
point. You have, yes, he has surrendered in the chapter 2 itself. Okay, Mataji, you can read the shloka.
Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschidhyatati siddhaye yatataamapi siddhanam kaschinmam vetti tatvatah.
Now this sahasreshu means 1,000. Sahasra means 1,000. Vishnu Sahasranam, 1,000 names of Vishnu. You must have heard of that, no? So Manushyanam means men. Out of thousands of men, what is Krishna saying? Out of thousands of men, many endure for perfection. And out of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Now, how many people, you catch hold of 10 friends and you ask them, who is Krishna? How many of them know? How many of them will be able to give you the correct answer? Or even if you ask, who is God? This topic we took up in the very first class, who is God? Everyone had different views, correct? So to understand him, to achieve perfection, it is a very rare thing. It is what Krishna is saying. Now, how can we see and understand Krishna? Like, unless and until we don't see him with our eyes, we're not going to believe him. So we have to perceive him with the help of his energies. Energies of Krishna are everywhere. Now, there are 2 types of energies. It's coming up in the other next slokas. One is a superior energy of the Lord, and one is the inferior energy of the Lord. And how, with the help of these 2 energy, he's all pervasive. Like, he's everywhere. All pervasive means he's everywhere. Yes, ma'am.
Bhumirapo nalo vayu khammano buddhirev cha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakritirashtadha.
Yeah. Now, what is Bhagwad Gita is giving us a confirmation here that living entity is an energy of the Lord. and hence we are subordinate to him. Now, whenever there is energy, it always comes from a source that is energetic. Now, what is more important? The energy is more important, or the energetic is more important? How will the energy come if there is no energetic? Like if there is no Krishna, how will these energies come? Sometimes most of us, this is what the perception is about the Brahma Jyoti that we told you, the first level of body light. He's a power, he's light. From where is that light coming? That light that we were talking about, that we understand, that power, that was the Brahma Jyoti, or the effulgence from the body of Lord Krishna. What kind of body? Not our material body like us, the spiritual body in the which is located in the Goloka Vrindavan. And now how he's all pervasive. His all pervasiveness is explained here. Earth. Bhumi Rapor Nalo Vayu is earth. Vayu means air. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. These 5 things. Okay. Remember these 5 gross elements. There are 5 gross elements. Each of us, everything material in this material world, whatever we see, you pick up anything, is either made of these 5 elements. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Is a combination of this. Correct? Science, this is basic. Beyond that is a subtle body. Now we'll take our example, okay, of our body. Mind, intelligence, and false ego. This is something which we cannot see. This is a subtle covering. Altogether, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. And these are the inferior energies. Okay. Now you consider the soul. Okay. Soul is the innermost covering here, who is full of knowledge, eternal, and full of bliss. But as we know, after he comes in contact with the material nature, he gets trapped by the modes of nature, and he forgets his eternal love for Krishna, his eternal service for Krishna, and he becomes a servant of Maya and becomes a servant of lust. So when he is freed from this contamination, he becomes Krishna conscious. As simple as that. See, whenever you're in knowledge of Krishna is liberation, and ignorance of Krishna is bondage. You get trapped in the bondage. Yeah, so we'll get back to this. Where soul is first covering of the soul is by the subtle body, mind, intelligence, and false ego. All of us have it. Then above that is a gross body, our gross body, like how we are made up of water. How much percent? 75% of us is water. Earth, that means the minerals in our body, calcium, potassium, magnesium. Even our blood has various constituents, which all this is a mixture of these 5 gross elements. See, science, earlier had understood only the material elements. Then gradually, slowly, it came to the understanding, okay, beyond these material elements, there is something more to it. There is something called as the study of psychology. And in the study of psychology, we came to know about the mind. We came to know there is something called as a false ego, intelligence. So that was realized later. So all this, Krishna himself, he's revealing a very, very important thing, that these all are my material energies. So you yourself, we human beings, are a part and parcel of the Lord. We are obviously subordinate to him because we are a part of his energy. His energy is infinite and we are just a minute spark. Now this, I'll just talk about the plenary expansion of the Lord. Firstly, Lord Krishna in the Goloka Vrindavan, in the beginning of creation, he expanded to Karanodakshaya Vishnu, or the Mahavishnu. What does he do? He creates the total material energy, which is the Mahatattva. This. Then, through the pores of his body, there is a image that will come later. See here, just look at the photo here. This is a Mahavishnu. Through every pore of his body, there is an universe coming. All these small bubbles, these are compared to bubbles. These bubbles are like universes. You can't even imagine measuring them in human numbers. This is beyond our capacity to measure, beyond our measuring scale. So all these are the innumerable universes coming from each and every pore of the body of Lord Krishna. And into this each universe, he again entered as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu to create diversities in the universe. And into this each universe, into each living atom, into every atom of this universe, to maintain him. How nothing is possible without the Lord, correct? So into everything he entered as Shirodakshaya Vishnu. So this is how he's all pervasive and everywhere. If someone will ask you, if Lord Krishna is in the Goloka Vrindavan and he is on his planet in the Vaikuntha, then how come he is everywhere? He's over there also, and at the same time, he's everywhere. That is the all pervasiveness, omnipresent. So, this is the actual division how he is present. He has expanded himself. And this Shirodakshaya Vishnu is the Paramatma or the Narayana form, which is present as the super soul. So he's seen to it that he is involved in the sense he's a part of everything. Obviously, he's aloof from it. He's not bound to it, but he's created everything and how he is a part of everything. Yes, Mataji.
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे परां जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेदन्धार्यते जगत्.
Yeah. This means besides these, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind. Now, besides these material manifestations, or beside the gross and the subtle energy, even the subtle energy, mind, intelligence, false ego, is part of the inferior energy, those 8. Beyond these 8, there is another superior energy of mind, which comprises of the living entities. That is the jiva, that is the soul, jiva, bhuta, baho, mahabaho, who are exploiting the resources of this material or the inferior energy. Now, how exploiting the resources? We are in this material world using everything. Once coming in contact with material nature, we are exploiting the inferior or the material energy. So we are the superior energy of the Lord. Prakruti. Para means the superior. Apara is the inferior energy. This apara was the energies that we learned before, and this para energy is the living entity or the soul. This is the jiva. Correct? So we are an energy of the Lord. Just showing a spark everywhere in each and every one of us. And along with this is sitting whom? Shirodakshaya Vishnu, or the super soul. So from this it is very clear the all pervasiveness, how Krishna is everywhere through his energies, and he is the source of everything. Yes, Mataji.
एतद्योनिनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः प्रभवप्रलयस्तथा.
All created beings have their source in these two natures. All that is material and all that is spiritual in this world, know for certain that I am both the origin and the dissolution. So against my will, Lord Krishna, not even that will come in the next sloka. I'm just mentioning here. Not even a blade of grass will move without the will of the Lord, because he is everywhere, right? Krishna is a maintainer and the essential principle. Yes, Mataji.
मत्तः परतरन्नान्यत् किञ्चिदस्ति धनञ्जय मयि सर्वमिदं प्रोतं सूत्रे मणिगणा इव.
Yeah, this is a very important shloka. Sutre mani ganaiva. What is money? Anyone knows? Pearls. Sutre is a thread. And Dhananjaya over here refers to Arjuna. Why is he called Dhananjaya? It's because Dhananjaya means conqueror of wealth. Dhananjaya, he's referring to Arjuna. Arjuna is another name of Dhananjaya. There is no truth superior to me. So there is nothing in this world which is superior to me. And everything rests on me. How does everything rest upon Krishna? This is an example. You imagine a pearl necklace. Okay? The pearls. Can you see the thread in that necklace? When you wear a pearl necklace, can you see the thread in it? No. You just see the pearls over there, right? But if that thread wouldn't be there, what would happen to the pearls? They would become haywire. They would be here and there. So who's binding all the pearls together in that necklace? The thread is binding. That is what Krishna is saying. I am binding all this together. Because I am there, this all is maintained. This is the thread example. So sutre mani gana iva. Mani means the pearls and sutre means the thread. And everything is resting on me. This is an example he's giving. Like the pearls are resting on a thread.
समोह रसोऽहमप्सु कौन्तेय प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययोः प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु शब्दखे पौरुषन्दृषु.
Yeah, now what is he saying? O son of Kunti, I am the taste of water, light of the sun and the moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras, and the sound in the ether, and ability in man. I am the taste of water. Now, if anyone tells you to describe the taste of water, This is such an important thing. Imagine you drink water, okay? You're very thirsty. You walked for a long time in a sunny day, on a sunny day, and you don't get water anywhere. And someone offers you a cold drink or someone offers you a juice. Would you like to have that? No. Your thirst is going to be satisfied only after you have a cup of normal water of normal temperature. That is what you want. And you cannot describe the taste of water, but there is something in that water that is giving you the sense of completeness, right? So that taste of water, Krishna is saying, is me. And now the sun and the moon. Okay, now light of the sun is me. Such an important energy, right? Light of the sun. And the syllable Om. Now, people say if Krishna is everywhere, Krishna is this, Krishna is that, then in the Vedas, why is there no reference of Krishna per se himself? Why is there no reference like that? These arguments come up. But in all the Vedic mantras begin with what, they begin with Om. They begin with the word Omkara or Om. And the sound in that Om, Lord Krishna himself is saying in Bhagwad Gita over here that Om in all the Vedic mantras is me. So so no Vedic mantra is possible without him. Correct? So in the taste of water, light of the sun and the moon, the sound of the word Om is me. Correct? Now in this shloka number 8 to 11, this all he is mentioned. He is the light of the sun and the moon. Om of the Vedic mantras. The sound in ether. Ether is like a space where there's nothing. It is not exactly like vacuum. You cannot call it vacuum, but it's a space. It's one of the components of the five material energies gross. Ability in man. What is ability in man? How can you define an ability in man? What is you're sitting here is your ability. A dead body cannot just sit, correct, without the soul. So that ability in man, ability to do anything, sit, write, get up, move, sleep, hear, listen, whatever. That ability in man is me. The fragrance of earth. Imagine the smell of the soil when there is rain. How does the soil smell? That is me. Heat of the fire. So everything that is important in each and every element is Lord Krishna. This is what he himself is revealing in Bhagavad Gita. The intelligence of an intelligent person is me. An intelligent person might claim, I'm so intelligent, I know so much, I have so much knowledge. But that intelligence in him is the Lord. The strength of the strong. Now, it's written sex life not contrary to religious practices. In this it means it is advised by our acharyas that sex life is not condemned. It is not said you should not have it. It is mentioned it should be only for procreation rather than just for sense gratification. Its aim should be procreation, and the creation that you do, that is the children that you have, should be made Krishna conscious. Okay, so you know how he's the original seed of all existence. He's everything. He's a sacrifice. He's life of all that lives. So this is how you know how is Krishna everywhere. And he himself has said it. So the most authoritative person has said this. There's no authority beyond him to prove anything. He himself has said everything. Known that all states of being, goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am in one sense everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me. So the modes of material nature, as a part of the material nature he created, modes of nature came into being. Soul wanted to enjoy. Okay, you want to enjoy, you get a small amount of independence, minute free will, and you'll be bound by the modes of material nature because you want to enjoy the material nature. You want to lord over the material nature. So you're going to be bound by the modes of nature. He's a creator of the modes of nature. He's not a part of it. Beyond the three modes of nature, there is another one, which is Suddha Sattva. Beyond, even the people in mode of goodness are bound by something. But when you reach the mode of Shuddha Sattva, beyond the three modes, that is where Lord Krishna is. And that is where a pure devotee in Krishna consciousness should aim to reach. We are still under illusion due to our gross senses. We are deluded by what? By the three modes of nature. That is Krishna's magic spell. The whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. I am above the modes. See, here he is Lord Krishna over here up. He's controlling the modes of nature. And modes of nature here are controlling us. Like we are like puppets over here. This we learned no in 3 doers. Yeah. Now, how do we overcome this illusion? What is the answer to this? Getting connected to the Lord, becoming Krishna conscious. You are a mixture, you are into different modes at particular time. If right now today is a Sunday afternoon, who will come to class and sit on a Sunday afternoon? Then the mode of ignorance is coming. I'll let me better sleep. Forget one class, one day doesn't matter. I'm not attending today. Mode of ignorance is overpowering you that time. Someone say, okay, forget it. This class I'll miss. Doesn't matter. I'll hear it some other time. More of ignorance and passion is getting mixed. But when you will say no, even if it be a Sunday, just for 1 hour, this is just for 18 days, and it is for my benefit. It is for making and enriching me. So I will, even if I feel sleepy, I will attend it for 1 hour, and after that, I will just find time and do something, whatever I missed out in that much time. Then the mode of goodness is overpowering you, right? So this is how we are completely always into some kind of illusion by these modes of nature. So what is God saying in this? He's saying, take my shelter. Yes, Mataji.
दैवी ह्येषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतान् तरन्ति ते.
This divine energy of mine, consisting of the 3 modes of material nature, is mama maya durantaya. Maya is modes of nature which is acting on us. It's difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered to me can easily cross it. What is the answer? Surrendering to the Lord, accepting his authority, and becoming his eternal servant, wishing to become his eternal servant. And your consciousness should be directed towards Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness, correct? The love that you develop in your heart for the Lord, after you understand that the water I drink, the taste in that water is Krishna. Every day I get up in the morning and there is sunlight, that is Krishna. When you have that understanding, I am myself, this body is a part of his energy, then you start to have an understanding. This is a part of knowledge. Now when you have this knowledge, you must be having some kind of devotion because your family has taught you, someone has told you, pray to God. But when this devotion, like I told you yesterday, has a backup of knowledge, this devotion becomes fixed, correct? And God is waiting. He's waiting. He's saying, dear child, I'm waiting for you. When you will come back to me, this is your home. He's giving his hand. See, we are in this ocean of miseries, and he's saying, just give me your hand, I will pull out. So this is like an opportunity for a human life to get out of this material world. Give me your hand, I will take you out. That means this shloka means that, basically, in easy words. So you have to surrender to me to get out of all these material plans and the state of illusion. Okay, now, yeah, 4 kinds of people. Now there are 4 kinds of people. See, now always there is a mixture. You, even if you hear, not everyone over here is going to be still convinced after listening to this. Duryodhana was not convinced. Dhritarashtra was not convinced. So there are people who are not going to be convinced, who are not going to surrender to the Lord. And there are people who surrender to the Lord. So who are those kind of people? Lord himself is saying this. 4 kinds of people who do not surrender.
न मां दुष्कृतिनो मूढाः प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः माययापहृतज्ञाना आसुरं भावमाश्रिताः.
Yes. Dushkritino means miscreants. Mudha means foolish. Mudha is the first kind of people who do not surrender to the Lord. Who are those who are foolish people? Then Naradhama means lowest among mankind. Second, Naradhama means lowest among mankind. Those whose knowledge is stolen by illusion. Maya partha jnana. You have knowledge, but that is illusioned. And who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, that is asura. Asura means like a demon. So who are humans but are atheistic. Atheistic people are basically atheistic nature of demons. Demons do not believe in God, right? They think they are only God. Some people in this world actually think I am God. Everyone is God and everything is God. All of us are going to finally become God and merge with him. This is also a very wrong concept. Merging with the Lord after everything is over. There's no merging. You are going to remain a spiritual, you are going to have your individual spiritual identity, and which is always going to be subordinate to the Lord in whatever state. So these are the 4 kinds of people. Now, who are these? This example of this Mudha is a person like, see, if you, this is talking about an working ass or a donkey who works the whole day. Like people who are just working to earn money. Whole day they are working hard. Their whole energy, all their senses, everything is spent in just getting tired, working for some amount of money, eating whatever you get from that, over. This is becomes like an animal life, correct? If there is no God consciousness in us, what is the difference between us and an animal? Getting up in the morning, doing some work, trying to have food, indulging in sexual activity, going to sleep, enjoying a little bit. This all is what animals do. How are we different from that? Correct? So foolish people, like even after, like Mudha is someone like Dhritarashtra, even after listening to the entire Bhagwad Gita, he did not understand. Naradham means uncivilized people. Like, there are so many, what example can I give you for this? Tribals. Now we are very much fortunate that we have an opportunity to sit here and hear all this, gain knowledge from somewhere, getting an opportunity to read Bhagavad Gita. There are these lowest kind of men because of whatever, as a result of their guna, karma, past life sins, they are in the uncivilized class. Maya Partha Jnana. What is that? Who are those? Intellectual people. They have a good intellect. They have good intelligence. But what is the use? Like people who read Bhagavad Gita and misinterpret it, who read various scriptures, interpret it in their own way. Scriptures are whatever, they have their own interpretation. They don't believe that there is Krishna. Or Krishna is just a historical person. There is some other energy. He's just a human form who's talking about their energy. This is what are the opinions given in other scripts of Gita. So this category of people who are, they don't surrender to the Lord. Then Asuram Bhava Ashrita. Who are these? The demoniac people. People who, atheistic people. Once you start getting, there is a time in life, when you start gaining a lot of scientific knowledge. And that time you feel that is it. You don't know something, that there something exists beyond it. And there comes a time when you gain all the possible scientific knowledge you can. And that is the time you realize, no, this is not complete. This is not it. There is something beyond this. This is still incomplete. Correct? So like after you perform a surgery, the outcome of that surgery is not in your hand. You can just a doctor perform the surgery. He will do the best he can. He will do the same surgery with his same hands, same technique in 3 different patients. Results are going to be different. What is this? Who's controlling this? So when you understand science completely, you understand that this science is itself incomplete. And there are a lot of unanswered questions. So these are the people who think that they do not believe in God, atheistic people. So Mudha, Naradama, Maya Partha Jnana, and Asura Bhava Ashrita from Shloka 7.15, who do not surrender. Now, who are the 4 kinds of pious people who surrender?
चतुर्विधा भजन्ते मां जना सुकृतिनोऽर्जुन आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ.
Yeah, 4 kinds of Chatur is 4 kinds of. Who's bhajate mam? Who begin to render devotional service to me. When will you begin to render devotional service to him? When you understand Lord, correct? Blindly, if you're doing something, it will not last for a long time. So who are these? Distressed. One, I'll just explain you word to word meaning it's there in the next look. The distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and one who's searching for knowledge. Now see, I'll give you an example of each. Artha means distressed. This word here. Artha is distressed. Person who are in distress. Now some of you must have come to listen to Bhagavad Gita out of some kind of distress, some kind of sorrow, losing some close person, not able to get through some particular exam or anything. It can be any kind of distress, financial distress. No, that financial thing is coming in the next part. Any kind of mental distress. This is Artha. And who's an example of one who approached God in distress? The Gajendra. He was caught by his leg was caught by a crocodile, and then even an elephant he picked up a lotus flower, and he picked his one leg up with whatever leg he had, and with his trunk he prayed to Lord, please save me. So when you're in distress, you approach God. When is the other reason? Someone who desires wealth. Now see, a pure devotee, no, when you reach the platform of becoming a pure devotee, wealth does not matter to you, because wealth is on a material platform again. But it is given. This is one of the reasons where you begin. This is the beginning. For some reason you get to it. It's not wrong to desire for wealth and ask from the Lord. It's okay. In the beginning, it's fine. Later, you yourself will come to a platform and you'll realize, I don't want this. But to start with, there are people for the reason of wealth. I don't have money. God, please give me something. There are beggars on the road who don't have food to eat. Give me some money so that I can survive. Jigyasu, who are curious to know who is God, what does he, what is all this. So for in that reason, many of you all have come with this, who are Jigyasu, who are interested, who are curious to know what is Bhagavad Gita. Is it a hype text, or is it that relevant? How is it relevant today? Is it actually relevant? I want to gain knowledge. So in this, and when you get into it, then when you understand, when you get the knowledge, then you surrender. Gyani, the one who are in search of knowledge. So these are the four, we know now, four kinds of people who surrender and four kinds of people who do not surrender. Who do not surrender are Mudha, Narada, Maya, Artha, Partha, Jnani, and Asuram Bhavam Ashrita. And who are the people who surrender? Artha, distressed, Artharthi, desire of wealth, Jigyasu, curious, Gyani, in search of knowledge. Desire of wealth, the example given is Dhruv Maharaj. He did tapasya for a long time because he wanted a kingdom of his own. Jigyasu, curious to know. Gyani, the one in search of knowledge. Parikshit Maharaj is an example. See, in distress, no, there is another example of, who's this? Anyone knows? In green sari? Anyone? Who's this in green sari? Who's being derobed? Yes? You want to type in the chat if you can unmute? Yeah. Muskan. Yes, Muskan.
Draupadi.
Yes. What is happening to her over here? Know the story in Mahabharata? What happened?
Chirharan.
Yes, her sari is being removed, and this is, she's calling out to the Lord in distress. This is an example of surrendering to the Lord in distress. Here, this is Gajendra. See, this is a picture. A crocodile is catching his leg, and he's offering a lotus leaf to the Lord. Lord comes and then saves him. Here, then who she? She's a mother of Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj is in the womb, and usually everyone stays in the womb of the mother for 9 months. But he stayed for a much longer time, and she was in distress. So she called out to the Lord. Here, these are all the sages of Naimisharanya, inquisitive and in search of Gyana. And here, Sukadev Goswami is telling them the Bhagavatam. This is Dhruv Maharaj here, this picture. This is Hanuman, right? Even he had surrendered to the Lord. These are the sages again. This is another picture of the Naimisharanya. This is just an example of who are the people in past, in ancient times, who have surrendered to the Lord. Yes, Mataji.
तेषां ज्ञानि नित्ययुक्ता एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोत्यर्थम् अहं स च मम प्रियः.
So the solution is given to us. Who is the best among all these men? Among all these people who have surrendered, who is the best among all these? Krishna is saying, who is in full knowledge of me and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. For I am very dear to him and he is dear to me. Now, how to engage in Krishna consciousness 24 hours? Our life is such that we are always trapped in materialistic. This is how Kali Yuga is. So in this kind of a scenario, how do we get God into our life? One I told you was ABCD. I gave you an example. This is 24-hour Krishna consciousness. A is association with devotees. At least twice a week, get involved in some form where you can hear about the glories of the Lord. Listening to the story, even if it's repeated, it gives a lot of happiness. Now we'll send you the list of our Bhagavatam classes. They happen every day. Every morning, Prabhuji takes it. We'll give you a link of it. You can join that. get involved, get associated with like-minded people. That will help you to remain fixed in bhakti, association of devotee. Reading Bhagwad Gita. Listening to this for 18 days is not enough. You will remember, you will forget. Read it, open the chapters, read little, 2-3 shlokas every day. It will take about 3-4 months for you all to completely finish. Then read it again. The more you read, the more you understand. Again and again you read, you will get new knowledge each and every time from the same shloka. This is my experience. This is what I experienced. Every time you read and you read the purport, no, you understand, oh, this I read last time, but now I understood. Then chanting of the holy name. You chant in the morning and Krishna is a part of your life throughout the day. Then prasadam. Prasadam, when you whatever you consume, it is said if you do not offer it to the Lord, if you consume it without offering, you are consuming sin. To wash away the sinful actions, offer it to the Lord with love and devotion and then consume it. Now, Krishna saying pure devotion is very rare.
Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha.
Sudurlabha means very rare, and he is called a Mahatma, very rare soul, who is a pure devotee of the Lord. Historic times, many of the people or politicians have been called as Mahatma. But what is Lord Krishna saying? Who is a Mahatma? Who is a pure devotee? Who is in actual knowledge? Who is surrendering unto me? And such a soul is very, very rare. And after many births, it is possible to understand the Lord. In some, like how it was explained last time, your service might remain incomplete, or you might not reach the goal in that particular life. It doesn't end there, it continues. Like how your knowledge, you have to get into nursery each time. Even if you're an engineer in this life, next life you have to get into nursery again. But your spiritual journey is a continuation. You stop at 50, you start at 51 from the next life. That credit is always going to be remain with you as a, like how with air and aroma travels with air. That is how all this is going to stay with you always in all the births. And it should increase. It will become more and more. You should add to it every time. Now Arjuna again asks, what about other devatas? What about Brahma? What about Shiva? There is an understanding that Brahma is the creator of everything, Shiva is a destroyer, uh, Vishnu is a maintainer. But from where has Brahma and Shiva come? Shiva and Brahma have come from Lord Krishna himself. They are subordinate to him. Shiva is the greatest devotee of the Lord, as I told you last time. There are scriptures where Shiva is mentioned. Shiva is offering prayers to the Lord. And Brahma, now, like I told you, into every universe, Lord enters as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And for every universe, he creates a Brahma. So there is a separate Brahma for every universe. And Brahma is the highest or the most pious living being of that particular universe, who stays on the highest planet. Highest in the sense, the topmost planet of that planetary system. It is a Brahma Lok. That is a position of Brahma. He creates he is supposed to be, he's given the task of creating of the living entities. But these all are again, they cannot act against the wish of the Lord. They're subordinate to the Lord. Now, why doesn't everyone take shelter of Krishna? Now, after understanding all this, still there are people, why there are people who want to take shelter of the demigods? Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires, surrender to demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their nature. In Vedas, there are different kind of worship given for fulfilling different kind of desires. So the people who are knowledgeable, who have read the Vedas, who this has come to us from our older generations. Like if you need money, you have to worship Goddess Lakshmi. If you need something, you worship someone. If you want rain, you worship Indra. You perform sacrifice, this prayer for that god. What is all this? This is eventually for some material desire, right? This is because your intelligence is under delusion. What you want is a material desire which is quick and which is not going to last forever. So for fulfilling these material desires, you pray to the demigods. But what is Krishna saying after this, Yeah. I am in everyone's heart as the super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. Krishna is saying, I am myself. If you wish to worship someone, I will not see. This is the independence that we get from the Lord. He's not forcing us that, okay, I am the absolute, worship me. If you want to worship, you want this in this material life, no? Worship that demigod. I will make your faith steady over there, so that you can at least devote yourself to him rather than becoming an atheist and doing what you want. At least devote yourself to him. So this is the free will or the independence that he's given. This is shown here. The independence is clearly seen over here. I will make your faith strong. But then what is the problem in approaching demigods? Endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. He's saying, okay, if you wish something, I will make your faith steady. But eventually, I am the one who is sanctioning. Through my authority, nothing is going to come to you. If you desire something, and if I don't sanction it, eventually you're not going to get it. So rather, what do you want to root? What are the root of the tree, or what are the branches of the tree? Watering the root of the tree, water is going to reach all the branches of the tree. Demigods cannot give benedictions without permission of the Supreme Lord. Why demigod worshippers are called men of less intelligence? Men of small intelligence, this is just the translation. I'm not taking the shlokas because it becomes too long. This is the important part of the shloka, which is translation. Now the fruits that you get are limited and temporary. Materialistic things are always going to be limited and temporary. You should have a higher goal, correct? And those who worship the demigods go to the planet of the demigods. But devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. You should have a higher goal. What will happen if you worship a particular? There are separate planets in the universe for each and every demigod. Demigods are also a part of the material world only. They have been given the planets of their own. So if you worship a particular demigod, you will go there. Life will be better, possibly. Then you might again have to come back to this earth, or even might go back to the lower planets. But if you worship me, what will you reach? You will reach my supreme planet, where you will have no material desire, where all desires are going to be fulfilled. The spiritual world is full of bliss. Imagine now a world where there is no sorrow at all. There are no desires. There's nothing to worry about. Imagine a life like that. That is what you're going to get on the supreme planet in the spiritual world with the Lord. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the supreme personality of Godhead, was impersonal before, and I have now assumed this personality. This is what I was telling you before. This is just an energy, and right now I've just come as a person who's giving this knowledge. Who are these? These are people of higher intelligence who do not know my nature. Now, in spite of all this, why doesn't everybody take shelter? Like those, it's the same repetition of the 4 people who do not take shelter. I never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency. Lord will manifest himself only to the people who surrender to him. And therefore, they do not know me, that I am unborn and infallible. They say, okay, Lord Krishna was born in, he took birth in that jail, then he went there and he died under the tree. This all is just are his part of his leelas, you can say, correct? He is actually unborn and his body is spiritual and infallible. I'm not ever going to get exhausted. I know everything that has happened in the past and all that is happening in the present and everything that is yet to come. He's a knower of everything. What is the understanding of a pure devotee? Person who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated and freed from the dualities of delusion, they engage themselves in my service with determination. Now, what is the understanding of a pure devotee? Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigod. See, I'm governor of the material manifestations. I'm the governor of the demigods, of all the sacrifices. know me as I am, even at the time of death. Correct? So this is finally the conclusion. After everything, after he's explaining his energies, after he's explaining his all pervasiveness, the ultimate point where you reach is you have to become a devotee of the Lord. You have to surrender to the Lord to come out of all this. Correct? Okay, so this chapter ends here. I tried to include a few shlokas and cover the most important parts, but you have to actually read it. No? And now, if you read it now after listening to the class, you will understand it better. Radhush Prabhuji, you will show the mental techniques of mind control. You will do it today. What is the time? It's okay to
Hare
start,
Krishna,
no?
Mataji. I think today is a Sunday. We will just take a review.
Okay, you are doing the mental techniques, no, today?
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, till then, no, till you show the slides, someone can just tell the physical techniques if anyone was present yesterday. Fast,
Mataji,
5.